morning, everyone. AM Path Chat covering the FX markets. This is Bob Iacino along with Mike Arnold. March 21st, 2017. A couple of things overnight. French had their debate between Emmanuel Macron and Marine Le Pen, and the consensus was that the centrist independent candidate Macron came out on top. We actually saw some Euro rally. You're seeing a chart with the big green bar in front of you right now. Most of that came after the results of the debate, as well as after UK inflation. Even though that would move the sterling, UK inflation data was up 2.3%. That's ahead of both the economists' estimates for that number last night, as well as the Bank of England's 2% target. All the central banks essentially operate with this 2% target, this common 2% target. Also, the British government announced that Theresa May will trigger Article 50 on March 29th, Article 50 of the Lisbon Treaty, beginning the process of negotiations for pulling the UK out of the EU. We had a full day of James Comey testimony yesterday, FBI Director James Comey, along with the director of the NSA, on Trump wiretaps and Trump wiretap claims, I should say, and the Trump campaign involvement potentially with Russia and Russia's meddling in the U.S. elections in November. We also had a bunch of Fed speakers yesterday. A couple of the notables. Neil Kashkari spoke actually on CNBC Squawk Box explaining why he dissented. Interesting opinion. Again, talking about not having a plan to reduce the balance sheet, which we actually talked about in the Money Path podcast at length this week. Charles Evans, a dove, Chicago Fed president, said June is a time where we will obviously have two meetings to assess how financial markets have evolved, everything happening in Washington and the likelihood of that, and the data evolving. Philadelphia Fed President Patrick Harker told CNBC as well that it's okay if inflation overshoots the Fed target as the labor market tightens. Obviously, there's a lag to inflation. We have to be careful of not getting behind the curve. That was from Harker. Now, we've got more of those guys today and all of the economic data that we talked about in the weekend FX update. In the meantime, let me turn it over to Mike to show you the only thing that we trade, which is price action. Mikey, it's all yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Bob. Euro, as Bob mentioned, substantial rally today. Continuing that rally, we have a significant level, which you can see in the blue line here, and a projected GAN level that comes in right on top of each other at 108.18. That's the next level higher. Above that, watch for retest of this very key high, 108.29. And if we do get above that, at some point, we're looking at 108.54, which we also have a flattening 200-day moving average. Keep in mind that where we are now, if we get above this key point in here, we're then going to be into a clear path move. And we've sort of broken out of this range we've been in for the beginning of this year. If we pull back, watch for very key support around 107.88. Then we have 107.82, and finally 107.67 are the key support levels. Pound, also very big move in there, came down, tested our first cross rising rotation zone and the 123.46 area GAN level. Now it's moved up through yesterday's high and a GAN cluster at 124.36. Next level higher we're looking at is 124.82 right up here. We just fell short of it a little today. If we get through there eventually, we're looking at 125.26 key area. For support, pulling back 124.36 followed by 124.07 are the major support areas right now. And we have a rising trend line. And as I mentioned, the first cross rotation zone, which the 8, once it comes in play, will be a support level. Yen, not much movement, really running between that 112.93 and reaching down to the 112.10 level. If we continue lower, let me just update this. We're going to be watching for major resistance around the 113.07 where we have the 25% GAN level and the declining 8. If we do get through there, next major area higher is 113.36 to 113.47 where we have moving averages and 2 GAN levels. If we go lower, watch for 112.10, then the big cluster right around 111.65, which is very, very significant. Swiss came up, hit the declining rotation zone, now has moved back down to a couple key levels. Watch for the 99.53 level, followed by the 99.46, which was pretty much today's low. The flattening 200 coming at 99.41. Below that, then we fall down to 99.12 and 99.13. If we rally back up, watch for 99.71, followed by 99.81 as key resistance levels, then the retest of the high that's already been made today. Aussie came up to test this very key area right around 77.40. We haven't gotten through that yet. We poked through it briefly yesterday and fell back down. Today we got close to it and fell back down. So this is a very key level. If we do get through that 77.40, next major level higher we are watching for is 77.76 right up here. If we pull back, very key support around yesterday's low, 76.97, followed by 76.90. And then we have a rising 8 coming in at 76.78. CAD broke through this upward trend line. Watch for a test of the 132.79 level. We've broken through this key trend line. Watch for a test of 132.80 level and the 132.83 level. There's that whole little area right in here. That's going to be key. If we get through that, we're looking for 132.52. If we rally back up, watch for minor resistance at 132.97, followed by 133.22 are the key resistance levels on a rally. Finally, Mexican peso closed below that significant level at 19.0277. Rallied up today, tested that in the GAN level at 19.0478. Now it's fallen back down. Again, we don't have much support in here until we get all the way down here. There's a gap that's been left behind, which was prior to the November elections. So we're looking to retest this gap area and the 1864.34 to 1867.43 key levels. That's all we have for you. Back to you, Bob.
Thank you, Michael. Again, a very heavy Fed speak week, which will move the currencies. It will move every pair, not just the dollar-related currencies, but also some of the crosses. So keep an eye on that, and we will talk to you guys in the next Path Chat. Check out the Money Path podcast. New one out. It was released on Saturday. Cheers, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.